Hey everybody, this is Jason Creel and you're watching The Lawn Care Life. You know, the lawn business can be tough sometimes and the customers are the toughest part, no doubt. Almost any lawn there's a solution for, but today I'm going to share with you a story that happened yesterday that's kind of just got me a little bit worked up. But I want to share with you the details and get your opinion on it in the comments below, and you can hear what happened. And this is going to be relevant to many of you in the lawn business, because just about any time I share a story of what happened to me in my lawn business, usually there's somebody out there listening who says, yeah, I got a customer like that too, and I can relate to the story. So let's get started with that right now. All right, so let me just set the stage for you. There's a customer that I'm dealing with that I have had for about 5 years, and I've been doing his yard, and you know, they don't always want to pay the way I want them to pay. Now, what my normal billing strategy, I do weed control fertilization, is at the end of the day, I email out the invoices to the customer. Most of them pay with a credit card, some want to do online bill pay, things like that, but I bill daily, okay? So if I go do 15 yards today, the invoices get created, I send out the invoices to all those customers, and it's a simple process for me. Most of them pay, most of them's no problem. If I ever begin to have trouble out of a customer getting paid, then I have to switch them over and say, hey, you're gonna have to prepay or pay for the year up front, or you know, or whatever, to keep from having to chase the money. Well, that has greatly eliminated just about all my collection problems. And I know somebody might say, hey, for us, it's credit card only before the service, and we never deal with collection. I understand that. I haven't had to go that extreme. I've had very few problems with the system I'm using. But anyway, that being said, I ended up with a situation, a customer I had for about 5 years. He was paying, you know, I've had a little bit of trouble collecting, but he always would pay. And he's a business owner. Him and his son own a business together, or did. And the way it would work was I would do the service, and a couple times over the past few years, he would be like, hey, come by the business and I'll give you some money for the service. But I kind of got away from that because I was like, I can't be driving around everybody's business collecting money. But so he got where it was, I was just emailing it to the business email address and they would pay with a credit card. It was great. I think the son was taking care of it. He was sort of the business person and paying the bill for the dad. Well, anyway, the dad is no longer with the business. He told me he retired. He moves into a different house, and his new yard is $44, okay? Small garden home, $44. And the way the software that I use works, you email them the invoice, and if they don't pay within a certain amount of days, it sets up a reminder where it'll follow up with them with another invoice. I've got it set after like 35 days or 40 days or something. So they'll get a reminder, here's your bill. Well, the last time I didn't get paid, so I go in there and talk to the son at the business, and I said, hey, because the dad says, hey, go by the office, but the son will take care of it. So I go by there, the son says, yeah, he said, just email it to me like you've been doing the past 5 years. So we'll just keep doing it that way. That's super easy. I said, hey, that works for me. I'll email it to you. So anyway, the next service, I email it to him, don't get paid. The reminder goes out, don't get paid. All right. It's 44 bucks, not the end of the world. So what happens? So here's where the story goes from there. I call the son's workplace, which is where they always take care of the bill, and I asked to speak with him. He's the owner, it's no big deal. I call up there. Well, somebody else answers the phone and says, oh, he's busy right now. Can I take your name and number? He'll get back with you. I say, sure, take your name and number. He doesn't call me back. An hour or so goes by, I call him back. He's still busy. You know, I said, well, anyway, he never calls me back. He doesn't want to call me back. He knows who I am, and he knows the situation. And again, I don't really blame him 100%. I mean, it's his dad's bill, but the whole thing is he's been the one paying it for the past 5 years. He said, and last time I talked to him, I said, hey, he said, yeah, just keep sending it to the business email address like you always have. I'll take care of it. Well, now he don't want to call me back. So what do? I call Dad. He doesn't answer. So I text Dad. I said, hey, Dad, it's time for your next lawn care treatment. I didn't receive payment from the last lawn care treatment. Do you want me to text you an invoice so that you can take care of it? Well, he calls me back. We talk on the phone. He says, hey, I tell you what, why don't you just come by the house tomorrow and pick up, and I'll pay you for both treatments. I'll pay you cash. I said, okay, well, that's whatever, that's fine. He said, and so he says, I'll be home late afternoon, but not in the morning. Late afternoon that day, I called him. I texted him. I said, hey, I'm headed your way to collect payment, you know, and I hate doing that, but I thought, well, in this situation, I'm gonna get payment this time, and then from now on, he's prepaying. He says, I'm not there. He says, can you take a credit card over the phone? I said, I tell you what, I can just text you a link to the invoice. All you gotta do is click on the link and you just pay it with a credit card. It's no big deal at all. I said, you wanna pay for just last time, $44, or you wanna go ahead and pay for this next service that's due now because it's time to fertilize your lawn, be $88. He said, oh, I'll take care of both of them, no big deal. I was okay, great. So the next morning, I'm ready. I've got him ready on my schedule to go fertilize his lawn. But guess what? He didn't pay the bill. I texted him the invoice like he asked me to do. After he'd asked me to just, you know, all these other ways to pay, he says, text it to me. I'll take care of it. I text him the next morning. I said, hey, did you get my invoice last night? I didn't happen to receive payment from that. He texted me back. He said, oh, yeah, I'm super busy. He said, I'm not trying to give you the runaround. This is what he said. I'm not trying to give you the runaround. I'm super busy. Can you go by to Son's shop and I'll leave the money for him at Son's shop? And I thought, man, we must have slightly different definitions of what a runaround is, because it sounds to me like you're absolutely giving me the runaround. I mean, the fact that I'm supposed to email it to Son and then Son don't pay it, so I call you and you say, yeah, just text it to me, and you say, wait, never mind, don't worry about that, I'm too busy, so if you'll just go by Son's shop and pick it up, then that absolutely is a run. Well, guess what happens? I go by Son's shop the next morning, just like he told me to, that morning, I'm sorry. He says, yeah, go by Son's shop, I'll leave the money with him. I go by Son's shop, guess what? Son don't want any part of it. I start telling Son the situation. I say, Son, Dad ain't paid his bill. You've paid it the past 5 years. He comes, he turned around, he's like, actually he didn't turn around, he kept his back to me. He's like, you come in here blah blah to me about this and blah blah to this, and this ain't got nothing to do with me. This is Dad's bill, and you want to come in here blah blah to me. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking, you the one that told me, send it to you. You the one that's been paying it for 5 straight years, and now you, anyway. He said, I know it's not a lot of money. And guess what happens? About that time, Dad comes walking in. He comes strutting in there. He's so busy. You know, he's so busy, he ain't got time to click on the text and pay his bill. But I got plenty of time to be driving all over town for $44, okay? It made me so mad. Anyway, Dad comes walk in. He pulls out $100. I give him his change. He pays for the 2 services. He's like, you need to leave me some business cards. I can get you some business on my street. He says that mess I want to just throw away. You know, the kind of people, I'll be honest with you, the kind of people that when I get done having a conversation with, I feel like I gotta go take a shower, man. I feel so slimy and nasty. Like going in one of those gas station restrooms and you come out and the smell, I'm pretty sure I caught some sort of disease in here. I don't know what it is, but it's so nasty in here that I'm pretty sure I caught something. And that's the way I felt when I got done talking with them guys. I said, I gotta get out of here. I got my money, I went and did his yard, and now here I am today, and I'm thinking, what am I gonna do? He sure ain't going the same system he is now, that's for sure. So my 2 options are, and there's some lessons I'm gonna point out for you guys that are watching, but my 2 options are, don't ever do his yard again and tell him to go, you know, to somebody else, which is the one I'm kind of leaning toward right now. And then option B is just prepay forever, you know, like, hey, you want to pay up front for the year, that's fine, but anything else, I ain't messing with it, you know. And do it in a polite way. I'm not trying to be mean to him, even though it was extremely frustrating, even though he ran me all over town over $44. You know, it's totally ridiculous, totally unprofessional, and totally selfish, in my opinion, that was somebody who says, I'm so busy, I ain't got time to click on this. But would you mind getting in your truck and driving downtown or driving over there to get the money, and then you get there and it's not there, and you know, it was horrible. So, what's the lesson? There's a story, that there's got to be a lesson to it. Well, the lesson is this. And this goes back to my number 1 principle of running a lawn business. I guess it would go for any business. But as the business owner, you can tell I'm a little bit worked up over it. As a business owner, my number 1 rule is, and I've probably got 1,000 rules, but this may be my number 1, is that you maintain control of the business. And anytime a customer tries to take the business from you, whether they do it in a polite way or an ugly way, then they're not a customer for you. Okay, so he's trying to take the business from, he's trying to make me work on his schedule. I have a way that I collect payment that works for about 99% of non-alien life form. Okay, but for other people, it doesn't work. and they're trying to take the business from me, and I don't want them to take it from me because I want to have control of the business because it's my business and I need to take care of hundreds of yards in a quick, efficient, professional manner that my customers appreciate. And if somebody's trying to interrupt that flow because I got to drive all over town to collect $44, then that's impeding on me as a business owner, and it's ultimately going to hurt my service to the rest of the customers because I got to babysit this guy. Okay, so that's number one rule. And they might do it might be a sweet old lady who's the nicest one ever, who said, you know, they don't have to be ugly about it, but they say, you know, when you're out here, would you just mind doing this and this and this and this? I mean, I had one ask me to come in the house and hang a picture on her wall one time, like that's what I do. I'm a lawn guy, you know. So if they try to mess you up on your schedule, mess you up on your payment, I'm not saying you can't help somebody out that's, you know, an old person or something, doesn't have any money, and they, you know, it's not a video about not helping people out, but you understand the difference between helping somebody out and being taken advantage of and somebody that wants to take control of what you're doing as a business. And that's what this situation is. Well, I've had about 10 of those over my time in the lawn business that were serious situations where they either fired me or I fired them. And you know, sometimes I want to fire them, they fire me first. Well, it's obvious it's not going to work out between us. So one of us cancels on the other one. And you know what, out of those, I can't ever remember a single one where I actually regretted it, where I'm like, you know what, I wish I'd have stuck with that customer a little bit longer. I mean, that was just a great customer and doing a lot for my business, and I really miss that $44. I don't know how I'm gonna make it this month without that $44. I've never had that happen one time. Every single time I feel like such a better human person because that I don't have to deal with that anymore. Not a better human, honestly, that was the wrong way to word that. I just feel that my blood pressure's lower, I feel happier, and I don't miss them one bit at all. And I want to replace them with a much better customer, which is not that hard to do. And I guess the last thing I'll mention is the customers you have that are fantastic and great, and the overwhelming majority of my customers are so great. You know, when you get one that goes above and beyond by appreciating what you do, by leaving you a tip, by just personally thanking you for how great their yard looks, or knowing that you're working hard, you know, things like that, it just makes you so appreciate them. And I do think that it's the best and worst part of being in the lawn business is the customers, but overwhelmingly it's the best part, okay, dealing with the people. And I'm not exactly a people person, but I've met a lot of great people that are my customers, and you deal with the ones that are tough, and you get rid of them. You don't have to deal with it. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling myself this. I do these videos mostly for me, you know, to convince myself that it's okay to let this guy go, because I don't like doing that necessarily. But I'm telling you as well, if you're in the lawn business and you got a difficult customer, let them go. I don't think you'll miss it at all. At all. Okay, and you can replace customers. Okay, that it's not like, oh, if I lose this one, I'm out that $44 the rest of my life. Why don't I just get another customer on Monday and just never think back about it? You know, I was like, okay, I got a customer on Monday who's paid me $98, and they're so much better and no hassle, and they don't complain at all, and I'm doing a great job, and everybody's happy. I mean, why would I do that? As opposed to $44 where I gotta drive all over town. Yeah, I mean, $44 is not worth me sending one extra text message, just to be honest with you. I don't charge $44 for a text message, but if I gotta go do your yard and I don't get paid and I have to send you a text reminder, then the $44 is not worth it anymore. So, I mean, now it's a $50 yard, okay, because I had to send a $6 text message. Text messages are free, but my time is worth $6 to send that to you. So anyway, I'm just giving you permission to fire whoever you need to fire. Do it in a gentle way. Don't try to offend people. Don't make them mad. But at the end of the day, at this point, if they go on there and leave me a horrible review or something, you know, I'm going to defend myself in a polite, professional way. But I'm not even worried about that. Like I said, I'm moving forward in my business and taking care of the hundreds of customers who I have who do appreciate what I do for their lawn, and I don't have to sit here and deal with this kind of stuff. So anyway, that's my story. Hope you learned something. Hope you, many of you could probably relate. The people in the world are very much the same. You know, we deal with a lot of great customers. There's some that you just need to move on from. I'm Jason Creel. If you're in the lawn business, go over to lawncarelife.com. Resources available for you there. Subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Let me hear from you in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.